Welcome to Easy Treatment Healthcare Private Limited, your bridge to global healthcare. At Easy Treatment, our mission is to be your preferred healthcare partner, providing personalized and comprehensive medical assistance to patients worldwide. Our vision is to be a global leader in medical tourism, known for our commitment to quality, compassion, and excellence in patient care. At Easy Treatment, we cater to all patients, ensuring a seamless healthcare journey regardless of your location or background. Start with a simple inquiry, contact. Visit our website for an initial consultation, where we'll understand your medical needs, preferences, and budget. We conduct a thorough assessment of your condition, discuss available options, and assist in scheduling appointments with top-notch healthcare providers in Hyderabad. Our dedicated team will accompany you to hospital visits, ensuring smooth communication with healthcare professionals. We provide continuous support throughout your treatment, from follow-ups to medication assistance. Even after your treatment, we're with you every step of the way. From post-treatment care to coordination of follow-up appointments, we've got you covered. Our comprehensive services include medical tourism, free medical assistance, appointment scheduling, medication and investigation support, second opinion services, and budget-friendly hospital selection. Our exclusive services includes organ transplant, joint replacement, robotic surgeries, neurosurgeries, heart and cancer treatments. For our NRI patients with parents in India, we go the extra mile. We support in carrying them to the hospital and ensure their safe return home. We welcome your loved ones with open arms, offering arrival support, airport transfers, and initial orientation. Experience hassle-free healthcare with Easy Treatment Healthcare Private Limited. Your journey to wellness begins with us. Contact us today at
Yeah, hello. I request everyone to please mute yourself. I've requested you previous also.
Can we come again?
Hello.
Hello.
So let's start
Hello.
the webinar. The doctor is already here. Can you people hear me? To welcome you to today's important session, Ask an Oncologist, live question and answers on unexplained symptoms. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to join us for this important and insightful conversation. Your presence shows how seriously you take your health, and we are truly glad to have you join this conversation. Before we dive into today's discussion, let's absolute privilege to introduce our guest of speaker, that is Dr. Rama Wagmari. She is an MBBS MD in radiotherapy and a highly respected radiation oncologist. With over 7 years of experience as a cancer specialist, Dr. Rama currently serves as consultant radiation oncologist at Renova Century Hospitals, Hyderabad, one of the leading cancer care institutions in the region. But her work extends far beyond the clinic. She has been a trusted advisor to multiple healthcare institutions, contributing to cancer treatment strategies and driving awareness through patient education. What sets her apart in her compassionate is the people's first approach, whether it's helping patients understanding their diagnosis or guiding them through in treatment with empathy. Dr. Rama is known for making patients feel truly seen and heard. She's a strong advocate for early detection, breaking down the stigma around cancer, and empowering individuals to take charge of their health. We are truly in expert hands today, and we are honored to have her with us. So let's now welcome Dr. Rama Wagmare to share her insights on explained symptoms and what they could mean for your health. So, Dr. Rama, over to you.
Thank you, Seema, and thank you, Team
You're
Easy
welcome, ma'am.
Treatment, for the warm introduction and welcome. Before we get started, just give me a moment to share my screen and just give me a thumbs up if the screen is visible. Okay. Is my screen visible? Seema, can you give me a thumbs up if my screen
Yes.
is visible? Here who have like taken out time from their schedule to join a session which is like much needed in today's time. Uh, so as already Seema has introduced about me, who I am and what I do. So with my years of experience in oncology, along the side of just managing and treating cancer cases, I am a firm believer in early detection and public education. So here I am today in your homes through the screen, of course, not to scare you, but just simplify cancer awareness. This webinar or the talk, it's not going to be any medical lecture, so just this is a conversation, just like how you would ask your friend or a family doctor. So please feel free to now put down your questions if you have any at the end, that will be answered. So why are we doing this webinar in the first place? This webinar I'm doing, now the main reason is that every week, for that matter, in my day-to-day work on a daily basis, I encounter people who wait for too long. Is this anything that is important to be addressed, or any symptom is important to address, or can I ignore it, or should I wait till it gets worse? or should I even Google and leave it? So there is like a lot of things that, there are like different sets of people. Few people will be like very cautious, present on time, which obviously, which is a very small percentage of people. Rest of them are always confused, or they do not know where to end up. It's like, having the symptoms. In most of the cases, it's like ignoring a smoking alarm, because you think it's just fine. What if, I mean, why to even get it addressed? It might resolve on its own. Likewise, there are like many signs and symptoms of cancer which are very vague, and we mistakenly take it as like gas, or age related ho sakta hai, something like that. It's because of stress. I've had a bad day at work. There are like a lot of tensions in life. It is just like that. Instead of going to the doctor, thinking that way and ignoring it. So here I am today, helping you recognize when your body whispers whatever symptom, or there is, which is like showing the body. So it is something like a whisper from your body that deserves to be attended. So what are the let's talk about what are the warning signs that usually people tend to overlook. So most common is sweat that doesn't go away after rest. So in today's time, we all know that there is like a lot of stress due to multiple reasons, and we think fatigue is just because of that, and we end up ignoring it. And weight loss when you're not even trying, when there is a weight loss of at least like 10 percentage of your body weight in like last 6 months, that is also a significant alarming symptoms. And if there is a lump, or a lump or a swelling which was like not there before, and suddenly it appears, or it is growing in size. And when there is a bleeding, without any clear cut reason, there is bleeding, or a cough that just doesn't subside, no matter how many antibiotics you take, cough syrups you take, when it doesn't subside. So these are all like body silent alarms, that is like trying to tell you, okay, get this addressed, take me to the doctor, let me make it, we need to confirm what this symptom is. So one underlying statement I would give when it comes to the common signs and symptoms is that, uh, lumps, when it comes to lumps or swellings, not all lumps are cancer. Okay, so if you have a lump, it is always better that you report it at the clinic and get it diagnosed if it is like anything worrisome, or if it has to be further evaluated. Okay, and there are like a lot of what you call symptoms that does not go away. That does not mean that it's always cancer, but they should not be ignored. Okay, so I always tell people that if it's bothering you, it is worth checking. So if something is like troubling you, why are you like letting it trouble you? Instead, go get it checked and confirm, so that you can have that peace. Okay, it's not worrisome, or it has to be further evaluated. If it is not anything serious, it's well and good. Otherwise, you will get detected early on time. And this early detection saves life. This is a very what you call crucial statement, or very important line that everybody has to, this has to what you call reach everyone. So the good news is that many of the cancers are treatable when caught early. So in fact, the early stage cancers are treatable for up to like 80 to 90% curable chances are there. And that's what, when I say 80 to 90% chances, so you can realize how the power of catching something, when it's very when it is very in the primal or the beginning stage, it becomes very easy for the diagnosis and the treatment, as in the cure. Uh, so when do you have to see an oncologist? So if you have any symptoms, like already mentioned, what are the common signs and symptoms of cancer? So if those symptoms, whatever have been mentioned in the previous slides, are like persistent beyond like few weeks, at least like 2 to 3 weeks, they are like there beyond 3 weeks, then please see a oncologist. And when the reports are unclear, see, when I know now the corporate culture is such that, every time to time the companies, like, provide some benefit, like they offer you for a complete body checkup or something, which is very good. And in those reports, if there is something very conclusive, inconclusive, or if the reports are unclear, please visit the doctor. And if you have any kind of doubt, if you want to take a second opinion, that's your right to take a second opinion. You can you surely have to consider that. And in case if you have a family history of cancer, like, a maternal side, paternal side, if somebody had suffered with cancer, please see the oncologist to identify your risk, where you stand when it comes to your risk of getting cancer in your life. So it's okay to take a second opinion. You don't need permission to care for your health, right? So that you have to understand the importance of that. And as a practicing clinician, as a practicing oncologist, so there are like very common questions that we encounter. Not only me, my oncology, practicing oncology colleagues, we encounter is that, oh, is this, I have a lump or a swelling, is that dangerous? What test should I do next? Or should I be concerned? Can cancer come without pain? So these are like very common questions that people have in their minds. So here's the thing, that most cancers in the early stages are painless. Pain is really not the starting signal in cancer. So just trust your instinct. If something feels off with your body, if you feel that some symptom, or there is like something bothering in your body, please get it evaluated. So there are let's get to some myths and facts about when it comes to cancer. So many people think that, like, this is a routine. I think more than 100 times or 1,000 times we end up talking about it, or explaining it to our patients, whoever come in the clinic. They think that only smokers can get cancer. It's not. In fact, like, lot of lifestyle there are like lifestyle factors which can increase your risk of getting cancer, like pollution, environmental stress. Any kind of HPV infection is can lead to cervical cancer, or oropharyngeal cancer, uh, testicular cancer. Genetics, if there is any genetic mutation, if there's a family history, so your risk of getting cancer would be a little high compared to the general population. And people think that young people will not get cancer. Unfortunately, this is like false. There are like a lot of cancers which are common in the younger age group also. But however, remember, the incidence of cancer increases with age. So as your age increases, your risk of getting cancer also increases. And what people think is that, I do not have any symptoms, okay, I am perfectly fine, मेरे को कोई symptoms नहीं है, like why should I even bother? But that is not the thing. Even if it is like, on the outer side, if it looks everything normal, there is a possibility that you might be having the risk of developing cancer in the later stage of life. So what is that you can do? What is in your control? See, there is like a lot of information available. Many people are educated. Everybody knows how to access Google. There is like ton loads of information, but what information implies to you, what information is correct, that which is applicable to you, and okay, I need to be worried, or this applies to me. For that, please, do not blindly rely on Google. Experts are here to help you understand what is right in your situation, what is applicable to you, and what is not. So listen to your body and track your symptoms regularly. See, the only person who can like do the best for you is yourself. If you know what is normal for your body, what is abnormal for your body, it is easy for you to track the symptoms, to keep your health checkups what do you call scheduled. And if any deviation you feel from normal, okay, then please consult the doctors immediately. And not just taking care of yourself, it is very pivotal that in today's time it's important you encourage your own family members and your friends, or nearby people, to encourage for regular health checkups. And what do you call uh, so this was about common things that we encounter and what you have to be aware. uh, Now I want to hear from you all who are like attending this session, who have taken out time from the Friday. It's the end of working day, but still from the busy schedule you have like taken out time and attending this. Please come out if you have any questions that you want to be answered, or please put in the questions in the chat box, and I'll be here to answer it.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rama, for the insightful talk. Now we are open the floor for your questions. This is the safe place. Feel free to drop your questions in the chat or raise your hands to ask live. You can ask your questions in Hindi, English, or Telugu. We are here to help you get clarity. Please go ahead. Put on your questions and ask.
Okay, what vaccines can be taken by individuals to prevent cancer? So this is a very right question that that will help the other people here in the audience also. So there are like there's something called HPV vaccine that can be taken to prevent getting cervical cancer. So cervical cancer is nothing but the cancer that occurs in women in the opening part of the uterus. Okay. So that can be given, this particular HPV vaccine can be given to girls and women of ages 9 to 45. Uh, there'll be two doses required. If you are between the age 9 to 15 years, two doses of vaccine will be required, spacing 6 months of gap. If you fall into the age group of 16 to 45, you will require three doses of vaccine, spacing 6 months apart. What are the early symptoms of cancer in human body? So, Shagufta, I think the talk was all about it. Like I've already mentioned the common alarming signs and symptoms that you need to look out for. Uh, if you want, I can like show it again. Just give me a moment. So these are the common main symptoms of cancer that uh, one can have. Okay, there can be sudden weight loss of more than 10% body weight in the last 6 months, lumps or swellings, any that were not there previously and are rapidly increasing in size, bleeding without any reason, bleeding from either bleeding per rectum or bleeding per vaginum. So that means postmenopausal bleeding, especially in women, and any what do you call skin ulcer or sore that does not heal, that can be on the in the oral mucosa or anywhere on your body, and chronic cough, which the cough that does not subside even with the regular medication and that persists beyond 3 weeks. So these are the and unusual tiredness, fatigue, feeling like you are like your body is running out of energy for no reason. There is like no explained cause, and these symptoms persist for more than 3 weeks. They need to be evaluated by an oncologist. It's is cancer genetic? So, if we like take 100% of cancers, like about 90 to 95% of cancers are, we do not know the exact cause why the cancer happens. So that means that is something called sporadic in origin. And about 5 to 10% cancers are hereditary. That means if there's a family history, so that uh, uh, hereditary cancers fall about like 5 to 10%. And one more important point is that all cancers happen because of genetic mutation. See, there has to be a mutation in the normal cell for it to become a cancerous cells. And in that, 5 to 10% are because of, hereditary risk is already there. And about 90 to 95%, we do not know the underlying cause for it. It can be because of environmental stress factors, or lifestyle changes, or because of the increasing age, that there'll be like a lot of changes that happen in your body, that because of which the gene can undergo mutation, and that can lead to the development of cancer in the body. You can even unmute and ask. It's not necessary that you have to just type in your questions. Okay, I got. How effective is medicine in cancer, precision medicine in cancer care treatment? So this is a very right, in today's generation, I think I can give you an analogy. See, as we are in today's time where there have been like a lot of advancements in every field, not only medical field, there have been like advancements in every field when we cater it to medicine here. The treatments have been like evolving. Previously, like, if you see 100 years back, there was like, generalized treatment we and the given. With time, there have been like, we are like able to customize the treatment as per the disease of the patient. So it is like if I have to explain it to a common man, it is called a tailored treatment approach. We can like do it to a precision where we'll be able to, for the individual cells, for that particular individual, we can analyze their genes, like the cancer in depth, and we can customize the treatment to that particular extent. So uh, what do cancer grade and stage mean? So see, stage of the cancer, before like telling about the uh, grade, I would like want to explain what the stage means. So stage of the cancer, like you must have heard, when we talk about cancer, we would be like telling that no, it is in stage 3, stage 4, it is already it's a metastatic disease. So the stage means it will tell how where the cancer has started and where it has like spread. Suppose example, the cancer has started in the breast. Okay, and if it is like localized in the breast, so it can be a early stage cancer. But if the cancer has started from the breast and it has like spread to other organs like bone ho gaya, liver, lungs, so that means it is a stage 4 cancer. So depending on the start of the origin of the cancer and the extent like where it is spread in the body, the stage is determined based on that. So commonly we have like stage 1 to stage 4. And when it comes to the grade of cancer, so the grading is something, for that particular we will like look under the microscope. It tells about how aggressive the cancer can be. See, when we are like to confirm the cancer, we need to take the tissue and send it to the lab for further evaluation, or to what do you call, confirm the to confirm the disease. So the grades are like, it is grade 1, grade 2, grade 3. It means if it is grade 1, so it's that low grade, that means the cells are a little normal and they are like slow growing. Grade 2 is intermediate grade, where it is like they are like moderately different from the normal, no, what a normal cell looks like. Whereas grade 3 is a higher grade, in which the cells are very much abnormal when compared to the normal cells. That means they are like likely to grow and spread faster. So grade 1, it is like likely to have a slower spread. Grade 3, they tend to have a little bit, they are aggressive when it comes to spreading. So what is the difference between tumor and a cancer? So see, tumor is a term that we use when there is, there is like uncontrolled the cells, divide, multiply, and there's a mass of cells that can be in any organ in our body from head to toe. uh, uh, Cancerous cells are different from a benign tumor in a way that cancerous cells will have like no control, whereas like a tumor, if it is like benign, that means it is like it has a limited growth, unlike the cancerous cells which can like spread rapidly. They will like not have, they are just like, what do you call, some how to give an analogy, they just keep growing in a fashion where we cannot have any control on it. And what are the latest advancements in cancer treatment? How the cost will impact to the treatment for curing the cancer? So this is a very generalized question. It is, I will give you an overview of this. There are like a lot of advancements in the field of oncology that have been happening. Now we have what do you call, targeted therapy, immunotherapy, CAR T cell therapy, and when it comes to radiation, the radiation treatment, we have SRS, stereotactic radiosurgery, stereotactic body radiotherapy, uh, and the cost also, and we have proton beam therapy, tomotherapy is there. So there is like lots of advancements, and that depends on uh, what cancer it is, where the cancer is started, primary origin, what the spread is, what is the stage of the disease. So based on that, the advanced treatment, which type of advanced treatment is applicable, that will be decided, and the cost also will depend on that. So it is not possible to answer the cost impact, because it's a very generalized question. Ahmed had asked a question. I suffer from recurrent gastric ulcers, high lymphocyte, and so Ahmed, I would suggest you to come down to the clinic, because this needs a detailed evaluation for your particular the symptoms that you have mentioned. This needs a detailed evaluation. It would be it's advisable that you come down to the hospital and get a in-person consultation. So we are located in Hyderabad. Renova Hospitals, it's a group of hospitals. We have multiple branches in Hyderabad. The primary branch is in Banjara Hills.
Sorry to interrupt you, ma'am. Ahmed, I am going to call you and get your appointment scheduled with Dr. Rama. You need not have to worry. Okay? Thank you. You can continue, ma'am.
So here, even Rajeshwari Raja, I see there's a detailed message. There has been a history mentioned. Rajeshwari Raja, I hear also in your case, it is in a couple of minutes, it like not be possible to cater or answer your question, because it's a your case needs a detailed history. They need a detailed history and evaluation. I also would suggest you to please come down to the hospital for a consultation, and we would be able to guide you in a better fashion.
Rama, I'm going to call you back in a couple of minutes once the webinar is done. Thank you.
If you want to unmute and ask, I think that also is absolutely fine if you don't want to put it in the chat box. I'm here to simplify the word cancer or oncology for you guys. It is nothing to be, nothing to be scared of. So, Rajeshwari Raja, I am undergoing CT scans every 6 monthly. Will I get cancer? Like as I already said, like you have a very, a long history. So we need to like look into the complete history, and we will be able to guide you in person because this needs a detailed discussion. I hope you understand.
And Dr. Rama, I have a question. Actually, when women bleed excessively with lots of pain, so what should we assume that to be?
So in this first, when there is like bleeding per vaginum, we need to identify if it is the bleeding is related to your regular periods. Okay, and what age does the woman fall into? If it is, what do you call young age or perimenopausal or postmenopausal. So based on that, it will have different evaluation that we will be doing. So in case of oncology, especially this is the concern, the common symptom will be in postmenopausal women. That means who have already, their periods have ended. It is like plus 50. The average age of menopause in India is around like 51, 52 years. So even after the ending of the periods, they have, unexplained bleeding per vaginum, or there is some kind of discharge per vaginum that is there. So that is an alarming symptom that needs further evaluation, which directs mostly towards uterine cancer or cervical cancer.
Example, fibroids assumption can be made, right? Instead of cancer.
Fibroids, fibroids assumption can also be made. That is especially in the perimenopausal age group, like around like 40 or 40, 45 years, late 30s up to in the perimenopausal age group. So in fibroids also the bleeding PV is very much common. So depending on the age group and other comorbidities, the treatment would be prescribed.
So commonly post-menopause only, the cancer occurrence would be more. The symptoms.
Yes, yes.
Thank you, doctor. It was very helpful.
Yeah, I just see, I few see other few questions. I see another few fibroadenomas. Fibroadenomas are benign. If that is fibroadenoma is just many women will have some some lump in their breast. If it is confirmed with a needle test or a biopsy shows that it's confirmed fibroadenoma, nothing to worry about. What diet must be followed by a cancer patient in particular? See, for not just cancer patient, in any for anybody, it is like having a clean, healthy, balanced diet is what has to be taken. And depending on the comorbidities, like if there is, if the patient is hypertensive or having any cardiac condition, or if the patient is diabetic, or there is any renal comorbidity that is there. So based on the comorbidities and the condition of the patient, the diet has to be customized. So for every cancer patient, we prescribe a customized diet chart, keeping all the what do you call their parameters in place. A customized diet chart is prescribed, and we have a dedicated dietitian for that.
And nowadays, doctor, there is lot of like many patients are suffering with breast cancer. So, would you like to provide some insights in that, how to prevent it, or what the treatment is, and how to get it rectified, or how to know that she is suffering from breast cancer? You have explained some in the beginning in the introduction, but still some more insight on that
Yes,
because
yes,
it's a very
definitely.
common cancer which is prevailing in women as of
Yes.
now.
Yes. Yes, Seema, definitely. This is a right question that many people should be knowing the answer for. So, breast cancer in the previous times, few years back, it was the second most common cancer in women. But as in India, I would like because I would like specifically talk about the statistics and the situation that prevails in India and what has to be done for Indian women. But now, unlike the previous years, breast cancer is the most common cancer in women in India. The main reasons, or reasons, or we call it risk factors for breast cancer, is that about the lifestyle changes. See, now because of the westernization and in today's time, the work environment is such that the sedentary lifestyle has become more prevalent or more common. So because of that, there is increase in the obesity, which is one of the risk factors for breast cancer. And late marriages, uh, late pregnancies, advanced maternal age for pregnancies, and not breastfeeding. So these are the few common risk factors for breast cancer. And early menopause, now you see that because of a lot of lifestyle changes and the dietary what do you call changes, adulteration, there is like a lot of food adulteration. And a lot of preservatives are used in food. We don't even know what chemical we are putting in the body. If you don't read the labels, like we will like not be even knowing what toxins the body is receiving. So because of that, especially if you like observe the menarche age, that means the girl when she has her first periods, that has like drastically come down. In the previous times it used to be somewhere around 14-15 years, but now you see that even the girls as young as 8-9 years or 9-10 years are getting their period. So which is quite alarming. Okay. So early menarche and late menopause, so this is also one of the risk factors for breast cancer. So the more the hormonal exposure is there, so the risk factor for breast cancer increases.
Thank you, doctor.
And Seema, like I had to add one thing. The most common symptom when it comes to breast cancer is that it's a lump. There is some lump or swelling in the breast, which is common.
Right.
And in 95% of the cases, the lump is painless. And that is the earliest symptoms. And as the time progresses, if we do not evaluate that, and if there is a progression of cancer, there can be other symptoms, like discharge from the nipple can be there, which can be bloody discharge. Bloody discharge can be there, or it can be a clear, some kind of fluid, or can be there from the nipple. And the nipple will be inverted, or the nipple retraction. You can see the breast shape and size of the breast will be changed. They can be orange peel appearance, like you see an orange, how it has that pores, you can see like dots, dots, dots. So in advanced breast cases, like the skin of the breast will appear like that. So that is called puckering. So that can be there. These symptoms, when there is a lump in the breast, or you see any kind of change in the shape and size, if there's any discharge, report it immediately and get it evaluated.
Thank you, doctor. So, any more questions, people? So, don't be shy. Even a small question could help someone else like you.
Yeah, I see
Please go ahead.
dropped a query, a question here regarding, my mother underwent right. Okay, looks like your mother had been diagnosed with right breast cancer and has been like treated. A standard protocol treatment has been received, and she is on follow up. Uh, they advised her to take. So she is on hormone therapy. Based on this, like she's a postmenopausal. She comes under postmenopausal category, and 4 5 years. So I'd suggest a regular follow up has to be there in that case. And to answer, we need to see the complete, complete detailed history to assess like what the prognosis can be. So for this also, it'll be if you can get in a in-person consultation, that would be more helpful in guiding you, customizing the advice in your case.
Any more questions? I think we are done, Dr. Rama. I think no more questions now. So I thank you, Doctor, for your time and giving us a valuable insights. And I thank you, everyone who participated, and to Dr. Rama again for a time and expertise. We hope today's session helped bring awareness and peace of mind. If you're experiencing any unexplained symptoms or would like to speak to a specialist one on one, you can book a private consultation with Dr. Rama Wagmare, sorry, whether it's for a second opinion, early screening, or expert advice. You will receive compassionate, personalized care from one of our Hyderabad's leading oncologists. Please reach out to us for any assistance and don't forget to take advantage of our special offer, 20% off on consultation and up to 25% on the treatment. To schedule a consultation, please reach out to us at info@easytreatmentindia.com or 9000001766. I repeat once again the number 9000001766.
Thank you, Seema, for thank you, Seema and Easy Treatment team for organizing this webinar, which is much needed, in today's time. And I would want to tell all the participants here. Uh, this is the first step. Joining this webinar, it is the first step to make yourselves aware about what you can do for yourself, and not just that, not for yourself. You can pass on this message to your fellow friends and family members, which will like benefit as a benefit the community on the whole. And we here as oncologists are there for you at every step. Feel free to reach out for any questions that you have, because I believe as a practicing oncologist that no question is silly, and every question deserves to be answered.
Correct. So
So
thank you, Doctor. We look forward to seeing you in our upcoming webinars. Until then, stay safe and take care.
okay,
Take
thank
care.
you,
Bye bye.
thank you, Seema. Thank you, everyone.
You're welcome, Doctor. Have a good day. Bye.
Bye.